Good morning. Happy Tuesday for you. I'm filming this just a day in advance to get a little head start on this garden week. But okay, it got down to 25 last night, which was a bit colder than we were supposed to get. It's supposed to get 27. So yesterday you saw that I was preparing the garden for a kind of late freeze and watering everything. So now I'm back out here this morning. It definitely got cold out here. I can see a little ice on the container pond. It's looking pretty chilly and some things are looking a little sad. So I'll show you what everything is kind of looking like, and then we are going to water the whole garden to try to help with these cold temperatures. So I'll explain that too. Let me show you though what it's looking like to start with right now. So ice on the container pond. I don't think it's a very deep, no, thick layer of ice, not at all. I'm just gonna break it up so that the fishies have some air. The ice is probably not great for this little solar fountain, but I actually haven't found too much of an issue with it. It's gotten ice around it a couple times and it's been okay. Probably not recommended, but it's been okay. And as you can see, there's a little bit of damage, it looks like, on some of these violas. So I saw that on a few of the other ones as well, like here in the hanging basket, which this obviously being a hanging basket gets exposed to more cold. I can see some damage here. Now the nice thing about violas is that even when they get damaged like this, they're such good cold hardy plants that it kind of just acts as like dead, and it'll often set them back a little bit. Like probably most of these flowers that froze are going to die, but they'll just die back, and then the plants will reflush because they like being deadheaded anyways. And I don't think that this kind of cold is going to actually do like permanent damage and kill the plants. I would be shocked if that happened. So that should be fine. And I think that this hanging basket just probably got a bit colder because it's up and exposed to, you know, to all the cool air being in a hanging basket. I think the other violas, they look like they maybe got hit a little bit. Typically the flowers get hit first and it's, you know, a bit colder for them. But the plant, the leaves and the plants itself do okay. So here are my other violas. Yeah, a bit of damage I can see. Looks like the lettuce got knocked a little bit, although the lettuce seedlings look pretty good. So the big established lettuce looks like it's a little bit hit with a little bit of frost, but the lettuce seedlings don't look like they're too unhappy. Maybe these peas got a little bit of damage. So what I'm going to start to do now is I'm going to turn on my hose and I'm going to water everything. As you can see, it's still early. So the sun hasn't come up yet. It hasn't started heating up. And if I can get water on the seedlings, turn on this water, sometimes getting water on the leaves can really help with the plants coming back and doing okay with a little bit of frost damage. So I will come out later in the day and update you on how damaged they are. But by putting a little bit of water on the leaves, as the leaves start to unfreeze when the sun hits them and it warms up, that water can add as a layer. And I guess I don't really know the science behind it. I guess it kind of like slows down the process of the unfreezing, and so it helps the plants to not get as much frost damage. Again, I don't know the science behind that, but I just know that if you have a situation like this, coming out and watering can sometimes help things. I'm looking at like some of the damage here and we may have lost some stuff actually. I'm kind of surprised. It got colder than I was expecting. This is a surprise freeze for us. And typically this time of year, we don't really get, like a low of 25 is pretty low. I was looking at our 10-day forecast and month-long forecasts, and all I see after tonight is just one more night of like really cold temperatures. I think tonight it's supposed to get down to 27 again, but then after that we have one night that's 32 and the rest of it should be just above freezing, just fine. We kind of are basically at the end, so it's just like one final late freeze here, you know, just to kill my lettuce starts. But that's how it happens in the spring. Okay, so I'm just gonna water everything down, and hopefully as they start to thaw out during today, they'll be okay. All right, everything already looks better after being watered. The leaves look so much more alive. We'll see if they go ahead and start crumpling and looking sad and dead once they actually warm up with the sunny day. But so they are already looking a lot better. I'm kicking myself a little bit for not bringing the clematis plants into the unheated greenhouse because I've been babying these so much all year, but they are a hardy perennial, so they're probably gonna be just fine. And I am just gonna leave the unheated greenhouse closed. I am not going to do anything with that. And I'll come out later in the day and we can check on what happened and how everything is doing. But I'm gonna go inside because my hand's getting cold. All right, it's a couple hours later. I wanted to come out here and check on things. It looks like this worked. So the lettuce has perked way back up. The violas don't look sad at all anymore. They look great. Yay! So the sun is just now hitting them. It's about noon right now. So we haven't had, you know, the full I guess reveal of how everything did. Some of these peas look a little sad. Like these might have some damage. You can kind of see that, like, I don't know, they start to look sort of translucent and mushy. And so that's not a good sign, but a lot of them look really fine. So I think that should be good. Okay. Hopefully we saved the garden. I'm still not gonna open up the unheated greenhouse yet. I'll probably come back in another hour or so, and I may put those clematis plants into the unheated greenhouse just to baby them. So we've got one more night of kind of cold temperatures. It's supposed to be, I think, 27. Hopefully it doesn't get colder like it did last night. 27 again tonight. And then we're into, I think it's like in the 40s Fahrenheit or something. So there's no problem after that. So it's just really tonight that I got to worry about. So I think I'm going to come back out one more time today, check on everything again, and then probably pop the clematis into the unheated greenhouse. I'm going to give it a couple more hours to warm up. I can kind of see the thermometer through the side, and I don't think we're getting over, I don't think it's over like 80 or 90 in there. So we'll leave that. We'll check back in one more time. All right, we are back out here. I just went for a little walk, so my cheeks are very rosy. It's warming up a little bit, so I'm gonna go check in the unheated greenhouse because I think I need to open it and vent it a little bit. And then I'm gonna put those clematis in there just for a little extra precaution before tonight. So let's see how warm it is in the unheated greenhouse. I think it's probably getting pretty hot because we do have nice sun today coming down, and that always warms it up in there. Okay. Let's see how we're doing. Oh yeah, it's toasty. 100 degrees in here. It's amazing what just a little bit of sun. So I'm just gonna open it. I don't think I'm going to really leave it open for too long, probably just like an hour or two. It's 1 p.m. right now, so you know, around like 2 or 3 I'll come close it. And I'm gonna grab these clematis and pop them in there so they stay warm tonight. That's one of the really nice things about having perennials or plants that you care about in containers. You can do a little bit to help them out on cool days and stuff like that. So for reference, if you've got one of these and you're kind of trying to figure out what I'm doing, so it's about 40 degrees out here and windy. I think the wind chill is in the 30s, but with the sun and in this protected location, as you saw, the greenhouse is about, 100 degrees. So I will vent it a little bit and then probably close it in a couple hours. So hopefully it'll still be about, 80 degrees or so in there. And then with that much heat trapped in there, it should stay above freezing overnight. I find that if I can keep it around like, I don't know, 80. If it can get hot during the day with the sunlight and we have a sunny enough day, then if I close it up, it'll hold that heat, you know, all the way through the night, and it won't get below freezing. It'll probably get about, you know, 10 to 20 degrees above the outdoor temperature is probably what it will hold at. Of course, I shouldn't have moved the container pond. When I had the container pond in there, it held even more heat because there was so much water, and the water absorbed all the warmth, and it just kept it really nice and warm. So I will be doing that next winter. I will just be putting the container pond in there and letting it stay warm. I thought we were kind of past these like nights in the 20s, which is why I moved the container pond out of the greenhouse. And now, of course, we've had these couple nights, so that's a little bit like, I knew I was pushing my luck. I probably shouldn't have done that. I always get impatient this time of year, and it always comes out in some form. So at least I didn't plant like any tomatoes out. I just put, you know, I just moved the container pond, which is totally fine, and the fish are totally fine. Even with a little layer of ice, it's not going to bother them at all. I could go see if they're moving around. I think they'll be okay. I think they're all hiding, kind of being slow right now. So they're back in under, there's a cinder block in there, so there's a little hole where they can hide, and they do like to hide in there quite a bit. So that is probably where they are right now, but I don't think that's going to be any issue. A little bit of ice is not a big deal. I guess I could pull some of this out, but it'll freeze again. I think tonight probably, if we get down to 25, and then warm back up, and then that should be the last time we get any ice on here. The good thing is we do have the sun today, so hopefully that'll really warm it up this afternoon. It's still pretty early, so once it gets to about 2 p.m., the sun starts really hitting this garden, and it'll really, really warm it up. It actually gets so warm out here that it can be, like in the summer, it can get uncomfortable. It's nice to have a south-facing garden. I'm so grateful for that because we do get such good sunlight, but it gets hot, and even with these pavers, even on a cold day, it does get hot in here too. So I definitely have a microclimate going on in this little garden, which is super helpful. So that's one of the things I try to be grateful for. You know, having a little stone patio wall garden situation does help on these colder days. So I'm not really gonna do much else today. Tomorrow I will be back, and I will update you more on how things did with this last night of frost, and then we'll start planning out maybe even bringing out some tomatoes and hardening some things off in the unheated greenhouse. I'm gonna sit down and really look at the monthly extended forecast, because I do plan on using the unheated greenhouse to harden off the tomatoes. So once we're having nights that are consistently above freezing, that's a great place for the little seedlings to come out and live, and they can, you know, kind of adjust to the temperatures but be protected, but get some true sunlight, hopefully really start growing. And it's just this time of year right now where watching that extended forecast is so important. I don't feel rushed. I actually did a good job planning my plants, and I didn't overplan, and I got the new seed starting setup. I'll put a link in the bio for the video about my seed starting setup, because I really upgraded it this year, so I'm feeling good about like space issues. So I'm not in a rush to move the seedlings out, so I probably should wait and be patient. But again, this is one of the things where it gets so hard this time of year to be patient. You know, I really have so mid-April is technically my last frost date, and I really have plenty of time to just wait for that. And I did start my seedlings just a little bit later, so actually my tomatoes, I'll try to give you guys more of a seedling update this week. My tomatoes really aren't that big. I don't have anything other than one vine that's like bursting at the seams, so we'll see. Maybe I'll wait, but I think tomorrow's project is going to be making a really full plan about when we're going to get things out, the planting schedule, looking at things, and then maybe we'll also start a few of like the zinnias and stuff like that, because we're close enough now. Just 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks if I'm super, like 3 weeks, I guess, if I'm being super careful, but we're so close. Okay. Everything survived. Yeah, just another little quick update. All the lettuce seedlings, everything looks good. Watering them this morning helped. I'll probably be back out tomorrow morning watering again, since we are going to get another frost tonight. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching.